Episode 57 AZ December 11th, 2024. Heat pump energy could save America lives and money. In episode 57 AZ 1 United States. Heat pumps. Here's how much cleaner energy could save America in lives and money. 2 Youth climate action. Main content. 0 RAWSEP View. Heat pump rebates are probably not going to disappear. One benefit of wood burning being misnamed carbon neutral is that the CO2 greenhouse gas emission from wood burning is not in the crosshairs of the next Trump administration as far as loosening regulations on greenhouse gases, since greenhouse gases don't exist if they come from wood burning, according to the scientifically debunked theory of carbon neutrality of wood burning. The first article enumerates the ways that homes, schools, and businesses using heat pumps will save America in lives and money. The second article deals with the disappointment on the horizon for expectations of youthful climate activists and how they are working around the new obstacles they expect to face with the new Trump administration. Are young people more likely to be climate activists than others? Do older climate activists lack the time away from work enthusiasm and new ideas of younger climate activists? Having a clue to what drives young people to climate activism is worth exploring. 1 United States. Heat pumps. Here's how much cleaner energy could save America in lives and money. Widespread adoption of heat pumps could prevent thousands of premature deaths and save billions on energy bills, according to a new analysis. RAWSEP View. As usual, RAWSEP will interject and insert the words indoor residential wood burning whenever fossil fuel is mentioned in this article. RAWSEP will also give points if indoor residential wood burning air pollution is mentioned in the original article. RAWSEP needs to remind readers that indoor residential wood burning and industrial wood burning and wildfire wood burning emits at least 2.8 times the PM2.5 and CO2 as the fossil fuel coal burning. Indoor residential wood burning emits at least 450 times the PM2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. These statistics were obtained by testing of the cleanest burning wood burning stove in the United Kingdom the Ecodesign wood burning stove. Also in the United Kingdom, the Drax wood burning power station emits 4 times the CO2 as the Drax power station emitted when it burned the fossil fuel coal, but the United Kingdom provides subsidies for Drax burning wood instead of coal, and the United Kingdom provides subsidies for Drax with exploring the possibility of a plan and failing at that plan of using carbon capture to capture the 4 times CO2 emissions of wood burning compared to coal burning and plan on burying them under the sea, possibly making that seafloor unstable. Carbon capture has been researched for decades, and there are no successful carbon capture facilities at any expensively subsidized location around the world. RAWSEP's advice to indoor residential wood burners, industrial wood burners, and outside wood burners of every stripe is don't burn wood to begin with. There are clean alternatives to wood burning in 2024, such as wind, solar, and geothermal powering, an electric grid that reaches all rural areas, which powers heat pumps which work down to 40 degrees below zero in 2024. Heat pump rebates are now offered up to $8,000 based on a sliding income scale in the United States, and comparable heat pump rebates are now offered in Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia in 2024. The great good news of this first article is that heat pumps are continuing to outsell traditional fossil fuel furnaces in the United States in 2024. As stated in the headline, getting away from fossil fuel burning and wood burning saves lives and saves money. The economic argument can be made because in addition to saving lives, the healthcare costs of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners are cut economically. Top RAWSEP excerpt. In 2023, more than 250,000 families claimed federal tax credits for heat pumps, and more than 100,000 families claimed credits for heat pump water heaters. President-elect Donald J. Trump has said he wants to repeal the law. It's unclear what that could mean for heat pump adoption, as many of the rebate funds have already been allocated to states. Under the Inflation Reduction Act, the federal government allocated nearly $9 billion in home energy rebates for electric appliances and energy-efficient home retrofits. More American households are moving to heat pumps, which have outsold gas furnaces in recent years and are on pace to do so again in 2024. RAWSEP additional key accepts. A report from Rewiring America titled Breathe Easy drew from data analyses and reports from a series of government agencies, including the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, the Environmental Protection Agency, the U.S. Census Bureau, and the Energy Information Administration for the facts about gas heating replacement with heat pumps provides most of the facts in this article. The American Gas Association and Industry Group contested the Rewiring America findings. Interviewed for comment on the Rewiring America facts for this article were a climate scientist at Stanford University, a professor at the UCLA Fielding School of Public Health, and an expert in air pollution. Photo of an electric heat pump in a home in Farmingdale, Maine. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates of 501c3 nonprofit organization. December 11th, 2024. Electric heat pumps, the most affordable and energy-efficient way to heat and cool homes, continue to outsell gas furnaces nationwide. They can also reduce outdoor pollution and, as a result, save lives, according to a report issued on Tuesday. The study by Rewiring America, a nonprofit group that promotes electrification, calculated that if every American household got rid of furnaces, hot water heaters, and clothes dryers powered by oil or gas and replaced them with heat pumps and electric appliances, annual greenhouse gas emissions could drop by about 400 million metric tons. RAWSEP interjects that if every American household got rid of indoor residential wood burners and replaced them with heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero PM2.5 fine particulate matter and CO2 from home heating would be eliminated. As it is, wood burning for home heating emits 2.8 times the CO2 and PM2.5 as home heating with coal. As it is, wood burning for home heating emits 450 times the PM2.5 as natural gas burning. Fine airborne particulate matter and other air pollutants could decrease by 300,000 tons, the equivalent of taking 40 million cars off the road. While a transition to electric appliances such as heat pumps could shave $60 billion off people's annual energy bills, it could also deliver important health rewards, researchers found. It could prevent 3,400 fewer premature deaths per year, 1,300 fewer hospital visits, and 220,000 fewer asthma attacks, all of which amounted to about $40 billion in benefits, according to the study. Just swapping out appliances such exchanging indoor residential wood stoves for heat pumps would make a difference. The amount of pollution reduction would depend on whether the electricity needed was generated by low-carbon sources like wind and solar power, or came from gas or coal-fired power plants, or the shockingly from wood-burning power plants that are mistakenly being used to replace coal-burning power plants. The report rightly highlights the need to produce clean energy. Electrifying homes will have fewer benefits in West Virginia, where around 90% of electricity comes from dirty coal and dirty wood burning, than in other states with cleaner electricity. If the grid decarbonized faster than forecast, the pollution reductions and health benefits would increase. People can realize there are more benefits than just improved indoor air quality by electrifying households. The effect of gas stoves on indoor air came into sharp focus this past year after a study linked their use to up to 19,000 deaths in the United States and 50,000 cases of childhood asthma. Similar studies of indoor wood burning show an increase in deaths and an increase in childhood asthma. 2. United States. Youth climate action. As teenagers, they protested Trump's climate policy. Now what? Some young climate activists who were galvanized under Donald Trump's first presidency are taking a different approach to his second. RAWSEP View. The youth groups mentioned in this article include Sunrise Movement, Zero Hour, Gen Z for Change, Climate Defiance, and Fridays for Future, and the young climate change activist leaders include Leah Thomas of Intersectional Environmentalist, also known as Green Girl Leah, and the Greta Thunberg. The different approaches teens and other young climate activists plan to take during the second Trump administration are included here if they have relevance to stopping indoor residential wood burning. RAWSEP Key Excerpt. It's less about having young people be climate activists and more about having every sector of the economy thinking through how climate relates to them in their workplace and in their community. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, of 501c3 nonprofit organization. December 11, 2024. The youth climate movement that formed under the first Trump presidency is gearing up for his second. Activists and groups like the Sunrise Movement, Zero Hour, and Fridays for Future have pushed for the Biden administration to step up climate action before its exit next month. They want funds allocated from the Inflation Reduction Act. After the inauguration, they'll retrench while refining new strategies like focusing on state politics, reducing the use of fossil fuel burning, and RAWSEP interjects here, ending indoor residential wood burning, as well as ending industrial wood burning at a local level and re-energizing the country to elect climate-conscious leaders. The youth climate movement, which widely defines itself as people under 35, celebrated the 2022 passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, the biggest climate law in U.S. history, which had among its provisions funds for heat pump rebates, which could replace air-polluting indoor residential wood burning for home heating. Among other things, it created a conservation-focused Job Corps for young people. But the movement also ran into real-world obstacles, a pandemic, and disagreements over how to address climate change. They don't remain children. They become adults and necessarily move on in different activities. What was it all for? Things are getting worse, not better. Jamie Margolin, the former executive director of Zero Hour, was thrust into the global spotlight at 16 in the wake of a brutal fire season that spewed smog over her hometown of Seattle in 2017, around the time that Mr. Trump pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord. Ms. Margolin and 3 friends made a continent-spanning youth march in 2018. Soon after, Greta Thunberg, now 21, began school striking in Sweden. That fall, the Sunrise Movement occupied Representative Nancy Pelosi's office and demanded climate legislation. They started attending global climate conferences. Aru Shiny, now 26, and of the Sunrise Movement withdrew from Swarthmore College in 2019 to organize full-time. During the pandemic, much of the movement went from mass marches to the internet, where even younger members of Gen Z were ready and waiting. Young climate activists were disenchanted by the United Nations Climate Change Conference this year held in Baku, Azerbaijan, where hopes were dashed for more than $1 trillion in climate financing to materialize for developing nations. Greta Thunberg, she boycotted COP29 5 years after she sailed across the Atlantic and back to attend climate talks in New York and then Madrid in 2019. Zero Hour sent Jamie Minden, but COP29 was a disappointment, if not a death sentence, for poor nations. And in the U.S. under President Biden, global carbon emissions are on track to hit historic levels in 2024. On the day Mr. Biden dropped his re-election bid, Gen Z for Change quickly endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to replace him, as did Climate Defiance. Sunrise Movement helped call 4 million voters on behalf of Ms. Harris. But now Mr. Trump has called climate change a hoax, promised to again withdraw from the Paris Agreement, and he's working to appoint key federal leaders that support overturning environmental rules. Project 2025 has proposed eliminating environmental justice offices. Leah Thomas, 29, made a social media post in 2020 that popularized the term intersectional environmentalist. Her platform was based on the ways in which injustices happening to marginalized communities and the earth are interconnected. Mr. Trump could again be a unifying force as activists refocus their movement at the local and state level. On Tuesday, members of climate groups, including Fridays for Future, held a rally and occupied a room in the New York State Capitol to push Governor Kathy Hochul to sign the Climate Change Superfund Act, which deals with air-polluting fossil fuel burning, but logically should include air-polluting wood burning.